I stand in the Magnolia banquet hall, squeezing Nathan's hand so hard my knuckles turn white. The room feels cavernous despite the soft jazz playing and elegant decorations Abigail spent hours arranging. My engagement ring catches the light, suddenly heavy on my finger as I scan the scattered groups of guests. Half the chairs sit empty. 4 months of planning. $18,000 saved from my event coordinator paychecks. All for this moment that my own parents have somehow managed to hollow out from a distance. They look like they're at a funeral instead of an engagement party, Nathan whispers, his thumb rubbing small circles on the back of my hand. I force a smile. At least they came. My cousin Rachel passes by with her husband, their conversation dropping to whispers when they notice me. I catch fragments: money problems, split up. My stomach lurches. I grab a champagne flute from a passing server, just to have something to hold besides Nathan's increasingly sweaty palm. Emma, Nathan's voice has that careful steadiness he uses when delivering bad news. He pulls out his phone, the screen tilted toward me. My mom just texted asking if we're really still together, despite what your parents told everyone. The champagne turns acidic in my mouth. What? She says Robert and Margaret have been telling people we broke up weeks ago. The room spins slightly. My parents aren't just absent. They're actively sabotaging us. 3 weeks earlier, Mom had called while I was reviewing catering options. Her voice had that saccharine quality that always preceded demands. Honey, about your engagement party next month. You'll need to cancel it. I'd nearly dropped my tablet. Cancel? Why would I? Sophia just got her promotion to senior analyst. We're planning a celebration dinner that weekend. Mom, we've been planning this for months. People have already RSVP'd. Emma, your sister's career is taking off. This promotion is a big deal, much bigger than a party that could happen any time. When I refused, she hung up without another word. That's when the whispers started. Aunt Patricia's regrets. Uncle Thomas's sudden fishing trip. Cousins who became mysteriously busy. Now I understand why. I need to make a call, I tell Nathan, my voice surprisingly steady as I step away from the sparse crowd. I lean against the wall in the empty corridor, fumbling with my phone. Chloe answers on the second ring. They're telling everyone we broke up, I say, my voice cracking. What? Who? Mom and Dad. They're spreading rumors that Nathan and I aren't together anymore. There's a sharp intake of breath. Then Chloe's voice hardens. I'll call Grandma Evelyn. 15 minutes later, my grandmother's voice fills the phone speaker. Not on my watch, dear. My trembling hand steady as Abigail appears beside me, her wedding planner notebook already open. We're sending a truth blast email to everyone in the family, she says, fingers flying over her tablet. Direct and professional. No room for misinterpretation. For the first time tonight, I feel something other than shock. A slow-burning anger ignites in my chest. I remember my 17th birthday. A hastily bought grocery store cake after Mom and Dad forgot until the last minute. 2 months later, they flew the entire family to Cabo for Sophia's Sweet 15 celebration, complete with professional photographers and custom decorations. Sophia needs the extra attention, Mom had explained when I questioned the disparity. She's more sensitive than you. Now I might lose more than just an engagement party. The carefully cultivated relationships with extended family members I've maintained, despite my parents' favoritism, are in jeopardy. Aunts, uncles, cousins, people whose weddings and baby showers I've attended faithfully, are believing lies about me. Send it, I tell Abigail, my voice stronger than it's been all evening. Every single person on the guest list needs to know the truth. As the email goes out, I return to Nathan's side with new resolve. This isn't just about a party anymore. It's about refusing to let my parents rewrite my life story one more time. You know what? I whisper to Nathan as Grandma Evelyn makes her entrance. turning heads as she strides purposefully across the room. I think it's time I stopped being the understanding daughter. Nathan presses a kiss to my temple. I'm right here with you. I straighten my shoulders and watch as Grandma makes her way toward us. Determination in every step. For 31 years, I've accepted being second to Sophia. Not anymore. This is my moment, and I'm taking it back. The next day at home, I stare at my phone screen, unable to process what I'm reading. The text from Aunt Patricia to Mom glows accusingly in the dim hallway of the Magnolia Banquet Hall. I understand completely, Margaret. If Emma's always been jealous of Sophia's success, it makes sense Nathan finally saw through her. Such a shame about their financial troubles. We're praying for her. My back slides down the wall until I'm sitting on the floor, lungs struggling to pull in enough air. My own mother wrote these lies. My fingers tremble as I scroll through more messages Chloe forwarded from relatives who reached out to her in confusion. Uncle Thomas, Robert mentioned Nathan called off the engagement weeks ago. Why is Emma pretending otherwise? Cousin Rachel, heard about the credit card debt. No wonder they're fighting. Each message lands like a physical blow. They're systematically contacting every guest with elaborate falsehoods. Not just discouraging attendance, but actively destroying my reputation. Emma, Nathan's voice breaks through my spiral. His face pales when he sees me on the floor. My brother just texted asking if we need money to get back on our feet. What's happening? I wordlessly hand him my phone. As he reads, his jaw tightens and a vein pulses at his temple. They're telling everyone we're broke, that you left me, that I'm unstable. My voice sounds hollow, even to my own ears. This is beyond just skipping a party. Nathan helps me to my feet, his hand warm and steady against mine. This is character assassination. The next afternoon, Grandma Evelyn presides over an emergency strategy session. From her vintage armchair in her living room. At 82, she commands the room with the authority of a general plotting a counteroffensive. Chloe, what have you learned from Nathan's side of the family? Grandma adjusts her reading glasses, a notebook balanced on her knee. Chloe paces between the fireplace and the bay window. Sophia has been calling Nathan's relatives directly, telling them Emma had a breakdown when Nathan suggested postponing the wedding. That's absurd, I exclaim. The familiar hot rush of anger overwhelming the shock that had numbed me earlier. Abigail looks up from her tablet. 7 more cancellations since yesterday. All citing respect for the family's privacy during this difficult time. I pull out my phone and open Facebook. My stomach drops. Look at this. I hold up the screen showing Sophia's latest post. A throwback photo of us as teenagers with the caption, "Family is everything, especially during unfortunate circumstances. Always here for you, sis. Family first. Truth will out." The audacity, Grandma mutters, tapping her cane against the hardwood floor. She's implying something went wrong without explicitly lying. Abigail straightens, all business. Here's what we do. Verified group emails from my business account, a family Google Meet tomorrow evening, and I'll update all my social platforms confirming the event is proceeding as planned. I've drafted a timeline, Chloe adds, sliding a document across the coffee table. Every communication, every cancellation with dates and exact wording. My eyes burn with unshed tears. This carefully planned celebration is turning into a humiliating disaster. What should have been a joyful milestone has become a battleground for family loyalty. The phone rings and Abigail grimaces at the caller ID. Nathan's parents again. This is the 3rd call today. After each conversation, Nathan emerges more frustrated. His mother's concerns have evolved from gentle queries to pointed questions about the family we're joining. Maybe we should just cancel, I whisper when Abigail steps away to take the call. I can't bear everyone whispering, taking sides. Absolutely not, Nathan kneels in front of me. His eyes fierce. They win if we cancel. This is our moment, not theirs. We'd lose thousands in non-refundable deposits, I remind him. Always the practical one. I don't care about the money, his hands cup my face. I care about us starting our marriage by standing our ground. The phone rings again. This time it's my phone. Aunt Patricia's name flashes on the screen. I answer wearily. Emma, dear, her voice wavers. Evelyn just called me. I owe you an apology. Margaret told me, well, it doesn't matter what she told me. I should have called you directly. A small, sweet victory blooms in my chest. Thank you, Auntie. I'll be there Saturday, and I'll set the record straight with everyone I spoke to. As I hang up, a weight lifts. Just one small stone from the mountain on my shoulders. But it's a start. I stare at my phone, the question burning in my mind. Should I confront my parents directly about their lies or let their absence speak for itself? Confrontation might clear the air, but risks giving them another opportunity to manipulate the narrative. Silence, on the other hand, might preserve my dignity, but leave questions unanswered. What would you do when those who should support you most become your greatest saboteurs? A week later, I stare at my phone, the screen illuminating my face in the darkened bedroom. A notification from Sophia's social media account stops my breath. So excited for my career celebration dinner this Saturday. Same night as another event that was supposedly happening. But priorities, right? Career goals, family first. My fingers tremble as I zoom in on the screenshot. She's included her formal promotion announcement with the party details. Same city, same night, same time as my engagement celebration. Nathan, I whisper, turning to wake him. But he's already sitting up, his own phone casting blue light across his troubled features. My boss just called, he says, voice rough with sleep. Someone sent him an email asking if he was aware of our relationship instability and suggesting it might affect my work performance. What? The room seems to tilt. Who would? It came from an anonymous account, but the timing, Nathan runs a hand through his hair. He's concerned about my focus on the Henderson project. I sink back against the headboard. This isn't just about a party anymore. They're attacking Nathan's career now. My parents sent their regrets this morning, I say, showing him the formal card that arrived in today's mail. They cited their commitment to Sophia's important milestone as the reason they can't attend. Nathan takes my hand. How many guests does that pull away from us? At least 12, I admit. Several aunts and uncles texted that they feel obligated to attend Sophia's celebration since my parents will be there. They planned this. They always do. The next morning, I stand under the shower spray. Hot water mixing with silent tears. Nathan thinks I'm just washing my hair. He doesn't need to carry this burden, too. I press my forehead against the cool tile. Watching water swirl down the drain along with my enthusiasm for wedding planning. The careful timeline I created months ago sits neglected on my desk. Later, spread across our dining table, I arrange printed screenshots of texts, emails, and social media posts. A documented timeline of my parents' manipulation. Each one stings like a paper cut. Small wounds that together become unbearable. That's all of them, I tell Nathan, who sits beside me, adding notes about dates and times. We'll make copies for Grandma Evelyn, Abigail, and anyone who needs the truth. The doorbell rings, startling us both. Nathan peers through the peephole before opening the door with a relieved smile. I brought reinforcements, Abigail announces, striding in with determination. Behind her trail 3 people carrying sample boards, fabric swatches, and what appears to be a miniature chandelier. What's happening? I ask, bewildered. Abigail's eyes gleam with purpose. If they want to make your party small, we'll make it spectacular instead. Meet my rescue team. All industry friends who've dealt with their share of family sabotage. A woman with silver-streaked hair steps forward. I'm Valerie, floral designer. I've got premium arrangements ready to donate that were cancelled for another event. For the first time in days, something lifts in my chest. That afternoon, I spot Aunt Patricia through the coffee shop window before she sees me. She's sitting with her friend Helen Carter, gesturing with familiar animation. As I approach, her words become clear. "Such a shame about Emma and Nathan," she's saying. "Margaret tells me they've been having problems for months." I set my purse on the table with a thud. "Is that what my mother told you?" Aunt Patricia startles, coffee sloshing over her cup's rim. "Emma, I didn't see you." Clearly, I slide into the empty chair. "Please continue explaining my relationship to your friend." Helen mumbles something about another appointment and hurries away, leaving us alone. "Your mother is just looking out for both her daughters," Aunt Patricia says, dabbing at the spilled coffee. "She's only ever looked out for one." My voice remains steady despite the tremor in my hands. I open my purse and withdraw the folder of evidence. One by one, I place screenshots on the table between us. "Here's my mother telling you Nathan and I broke up 2 weeks ago. Here's what she told Nathan's parents about our supposed financial troubles. And here," I tap a printed text message, "is Sophia scheduling her celebration deliberately against ours." Aunt Patricia's face pales as she views each document. "I've spent my whole life accepting less," I say, meeting her eyes directly. "I've watched Sophia receive cars while I got gift cards. I've rearranged my graduations to accommodate her soccer tournaments. I've smiled in family photos while standing in her shadow. This time I refuse." Something shifts in Aunt Patricia's expression, recognition, then remorse. "I never realized," she whispers, examining a particularly vicious text from my mother. "I've been blind for too long." She reaches across the table, covering my hand with hers. "I'll make this right with the family, Emma. This isn't fair to you or Nathan." That evening, Grandma Evelyn calls from her retirement community. "The ladies in my bridge club are outraged," she announces without preamble. "We've started what Ruth Coleman is calling our Truth Campaign. Each of us is personally calling 5 family members to set the record straight." I picture Grandma and her friends, a formidable army of seniors with decades of family diplomacy experience, working the phones on my behalf. "How can we help?" she asks. A question so different from my parents' demands that I almost don't recognize it as family communication. As Nathan, Abigail, Chloe, and I finalize the engagement party details in my living room later that week, I feel a new confidence straightening my spine. Abigail shows us updated RSVPs. Grandma Evelyn's network has successfully brought many guests back on board. "I think we'll have a good turnout after all," Abigail says, her professional smile warming to genuine pleasure. The evening of the engagement party arrives with spring rain washing the streets of Asheville. I stand at the venue entrance, Nathan's hand warm in mine. In moments, we'll walk inside and discover who actually showed up. Who chose us over my parents' lies. I take a deep breath and push open the door. On the engagement day, I stand at the entrance of the Magnolia Banquet Hall with Nathan beside me. His steady hand at the small of my back. The knot in my stomach loosens slightly as we greet each arriving guest with practiced smiles and warm embraces. Every handshake feels like reclaiming a piece of my narrative from my parents' grasp. "Thank you for coming," I tell Aunt Eleanor, who hesitates briefly before hugging me. "It means more than you know." The carefully arranged photographs of our 6-year journey together line the entrance hallway. Nathan and me hiking in the Blue Ridge Mountains. Our first apartment with that hideous orange couch. The day we brought home Pepper, our rescue beagle. Physical proof of our history, our solidity. As the evening progresses, I notice the room filling gradually. Not everyone returned after my parents' campaign of misinformation. But enough familiar faces populate the tables that the celebration no longer feels hollow. Perhaps 70% capacity, a victory considering where we started. Nathan taps his glass gently, drawing everyone's attention. His voice carries across the room, steady and sure. "To those who stand with us today," he says, raising his champagne flute. "You are our true family. Not by obligation, but by choice." No bitterness colors his words, just simple truth. I blink back tears as glasses rise in response. Abigail has worked magic with the space, transforming what could have felt like a sparsely attended event into an intimate gathering. Fairy lights twine through greenery on each table. The smaller band plays in the corner rather than on the main stage, creating a cozy atmosphere rather than highlighting empty chairs. The main doors swing open unexpectedly. My heart stutters as Sophia walks in, wearing a cream silk blouse and tailored pants. Her professional smile doesn't reach her eyes. "I just wanted to congratulate you both," she announces too loudly, air kissing my cheek while her gaze darts around the room, clearly tallying attendance. Before I can respond, Grandma Evelyn appears at my side. Her silver hair perfectly coiffed, her spine ramrod straight despite her 83 years. "Sophia, darling," she says, voice sweet as honeysuckle but with steel underneath. "Where are your parents this evening?" Everyone's been asking after Robert and Margaret. Sophia's smile falters. "They sent their regrets. Dad had an important client dinner." Uncle James frowns from nearby. "That's odd. Robert told me they were attending your promotion celebration tonight." "Well, yes, after the dinner," Sophia stammers. "It's a sequential event situation." Aunt Eleanor tilts her head. "But your mother told me you and Nathan had broken up weeks ago, Emma." She was quite detailed about it. The room grows quieter as several guests exchange knowing glances. Sophia's cheeks flush scarlet. "I should go," she mutters, backing toward the door. "Early meeting tomorrow." "Congratulations again." She practically bolts, leaving a wake of whispers behind her. Grandma Evelyn squeezes my hand. "Should we call your parents from here? Everyone could wish them well." I hesitate, my throat suddenly dry. Would publicly exposing their absence force a reconciliation, or would it merely deepen the divide beyond repair? The weight of the decision presses on my chest. Before I can answer, Grandma turns to the small band and claps her hands. "Do you boys know the twist?" "Chubby Checker, 1960. The pianist grins and strikes up the familiar tune. Grandma kicks off her sensible pumps and begins demonstrating the dance that scandalized her own mother 6 decades ago. Within moments, the dance floor fills with laughing guests attempting to match her surprising agility. Nathan's parents approach us during the impromptu dance contest. His mother, Deborah, wraps me in a genuine hug. "You're the daughter we've always wanted," she whispers, her gardenia perfume enveloping me. "Don't let anyone make you doubt your place in this family." Charles Brooks, usually reserved, places his hands on my shoulders. "Our son chose well," he says simply. Something shifts inside me as I watch the celebration transform. The awkwardness that lingered earlier dissolves into genuine joy. Bodies sway to the music, laughter bubbles across the room, and stories flow freely over dessert plates. The absences no longer define the evening. For the first time since discovering my parents' betrayal, my shoulders drop away from my ears. My fingers uncurl from the tight fist they've been maintaining. The success of this night doesn't depend on my parents' approval, it never did. Later that evening, as Nathan and I thank the last departing guests, Abigail hands me my phone. "Your mother left a voicemail," she says quietly. "You might want to listen to it tomorrow." Morning sunlight streams through our bedroom windows when I finally press play. My mother's clipped voice fills the room. 7 people, Emma. 7 people at Sophia's dinner. You'll pay for this humiliation." Nathan sits beside me on the bed, our fingers intertwined. "They're getting desperate," he says, showing me his phone. "Look, an anonymous Instagram account has posted claims that I cheated on you last summer, tagging mutual friends." My stomach drops. They're escalating. Nathan's phone rings. It's his father calling. The conversation is brief, his face growing increasingly troubled. "Dad received an email about your unstable work history," he reports after hanging up. "And apparently, someone's been sending similar messages to your workplace." I press my palm against my forehead. This is no longer just family drama, they're attacking our livelihoods now. The battle lines have been redrawn, and I know with cold certainty that the real war has only just begun. 2 days later, the phone rings at 7:30 in the morning. Nathan checks the screen and his jaw tightens. It's your father. I pull the comforter tighter around my shoulders, my body instinctively bracing. Speaker, Nathan answers, keeping his voice neutral. Hello, Robert. Good morning, Nathan. My father's voice carries that false warmth he reserves for business negotiations. I was hoping you and I could meet man to man without Emma. Nathan's eyes meet mine as he sits on the edge of the bed. What about? There are things about my daughter you should know before you make this commitment. Things she hasn't told you. My stomach clenches. Even now, they're still trying. I'd be happy to discuss your concerns, Nathan says. His thumb already activating the recording function on his phone. Is it all right if I record our conversation? A pause. That won't be necessary. I prefer transparency, sir, Nathan says. My father clears his throat. Fine. Listen, Nathan. Sophia's promotion has been challenging for Emma. She's always struggled with her sister's success. Nathan's hand finds mine under the covers. In what way? Weddings are expensive. If you're considering postponing, we could help with a down payment on a larger home instead. Something more appropriate for your future. Nathan's eyebrows shoot up. You want to pay us to cancel our wedding? Sophia is experiencing significant emotional distress over this situation. As parents, we need to consider both our daughters and the family heirlooms Margaret promised for the ceremony, Robert says. The pearl necklace from Emma's grandmother, Nathan asks, his voice steady. Those items stay with immediate family, my father says, the veneer of warmth evaporating. Surely you understand. Nathan straightens his shoulders. Sir, I know exactly who Emma is, which is why I'm marrying her. The line goes silent for several seconds. I'll be sending screenshots of this conversation to Grandma Evelyn, Nathan adds before ending the call. I lean against his back, my forehead pressed between his shoulder blades. They'll never stop, will they? No, he says, turning to hold me. But neither will we. 2 days later, I stand on my parents' doorstep, my heart pounding against my ribs. Grandma Evelyn waits in her car at the curb, her presence giving me courage. This is your one chance to make things right, she told me earlier. After this, you live your life on your terms. My mother answers the door, surprise flickering across her face before settling into practiced composure. Emma, this is unexpected. May I come in? She steps aside wordlessly. In the living room, Sophia lounges on the couch, scrolling through her phone. She looks up, her expression hardening. What are you doing here? She asks. My father emerges from his office, arms crossed. Emma has apparently decided to grace us with her presence. I remain standing, my phone recording in my pocket with Grandma's full knowledge and blessing. I wanted to talk about the wedding, about family. There's nothing to discuss, my mother says, arranging herself carefully on the armchair. You've made your choices. As have you, I reply, steadier than I feel. You chose to lie to our family about my relationship. Sophia springs up from the couch. Oh, please. You've always been a parasite on this family, taking and taking while contributing nothing. Nothing? I keep my voice level. I've attended every milestone in your life. Every celebration, every achievement because you have none of your own, Sophia nearly shouts. Your pathetic little job planning parties for other people because you have nothing worth celebrating yourself. My mother doesn't correct her. Instead, she sighs. Emma, we've always had to work harder to make up for your inadequacies. Your sister is making something of herself. Can't you just once put family first? The words land like physical blows, but for once they don't knock me down. I reach into my pocket and switch off the recording. I'm not asking for your approval anymore, I say. A strange calm washing over me. I'm offering you one last chance to be parents, to both your daughters. My father notices the movement. Were you recording us? He lunges for my pocket, but I step back. Yes. The room explodes. Mother gasps. Father rages about betrayal. Sophia screams that I'm manipulative, desperate. This is why you'll never be welcome in this house again, my father says, pointing to the door. Get out. I walk out with my head high. The evidence of decades of favoritism secure in my pocket. 3 weeks later, an unfamiliar number appears on my phone. The woman identifies herself as Linda Hayes from HR at Sophia's company. Miss Larson, we're calling regarding an incident involving your sister, Sophia Larson. I sink into my desk chair. What's happened? We've discovered Miss Larson used company email to circulate personal information about you to several clients and colleagues. This violates our confidentiality policies and exposed client data in the process. My mouth goes dry. I see. A colleague forwarded these communications to our department with documentation of policy breaches. We want to assure you this behavior doesn't reflect our company values. I close my eyes, picturing Sophia's fury when confronted with evidence of her actions. What happens now? Miss Larson denied responsibility initially, but the electronic evidence was conclusive. After our investigation, she's been demoted to junior analyst. We also want to extend our sincere apologies for any distress this may have caused. Junior analyst, after the promotion that was worth ruining my engagement party. Will you be pursuing any further action? Linda asks carefully. That evening, I tell Nathan everything while we prepare dinner together. Are you going to sue? He asks, dicing tomatoes with precise movements. I shake my head. Their consequences are their own making. Now the wedding planning continues without input from my parents or Sophia. 94 invitations go out. 3 addresses deliberately omitted. 2 weeks later, Aunt Patricia calls. Have you heard? Sophia's barely speaking to your parents. She blames them for everything. Says they encouraged her to fight your engagement and it cost her the promotion. I'm surprised by how little satisfaction I feel. That's between them. After we hang up, a small package arrives by courier. Inside I find a delicate lace handkerchief with hand-embroidered flowers around the edges. The note in my grandmother's elegant script reads simply, "For you're something old, from your real family." I hold the handkerchief to my cheek, feeling the soft texture of generations of love against my skin. For the first time, I truly understand that family isn't defined by blood, but by the people who show up when it matters most. On the wedding day, I stand beneath the white gazebo adorned with climbing roses and honeysuckle.